Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We all know that Japan and Germany have been under US occupation with troops since 1945. That's not a, if or maybe. No, that's a fact. Now you can interpret that however you want. They wanted those troops to be over there and defend them against this or against that. Or you can simply say, no, they're over there because they have to be kept in check so they don't do another thing that they did and they will threaten the world order, which was divided into the spheres of influence. So instead of being, let's say, Hitler and who knows else, they switched, they destroyed Hitler and they put the Soviets and the Americans. So yeah, and since both Soviet Union and the United States of America are the good guys, were the good guys, at least in the case of Soviet Union, then it's a better deal than having the crazy Hitler. Okay, now, we know Germany has at least 70,000 American troops on its territory, and they used to have nuclear weapons deployed on its territory. I don't know if they still have it or not. But this article is about Japan, who as well, who has American troops on it, in Okinawa and other locations, I'm guessing, right? This article comes from Sputnik. Remember, Japan is like Ukraine, it's a sovereign country, free, independent, democratic, capitalist, perfect, fantastic country. At least that's what we are told. Now this is the article here from today, the 29th of October 2022. Japan intends to create joint command of national defense forces in 2024. Reports say. When they say joint, who do you think they are joined by? China? No. Russia? Hell no. But who? South Korea? North Korea? No, you guessed it. It's Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe from across the Pacific. Yeah, those guys from across the Pacific will help you with your safety. All right? Okay, we got that, right? It's for your own defense, national defense. Thank you very much. So altruistic. You already have your army on our territory, so I don't know, you're gonna take our control centers? Yes, that's called joint. I like euphemisms because these guys use a lot of them. You just have to pay attention, but in order to figure out that it's a euphemism, you have to know the reality or the facts. And the facts are, if we still use the dictionary terminology, then are as they are. These guys are still under occupation. And it's veiled occupation, but you can't move. If the United States wants tomorrow to take over Japan, takes just like this. All right? So can Japan take over the United States tomorrow just like this? No. So that tells you who the subordinate is and who the master is. So the joint thing is actually the United States grabbing the reins. That's my interpretation, okay? But just put yourself in your family, in the place your family is Japan, and my family is United States of America. And I have my troops in your country, you don't have in my country or my house. And besides, your control of your defense, instead of having you decide, no, you ask me to join with you and decide on your safety. But you can't do the same thing with me in my house. So, and I have to be a fucking idiot to believe that this is a joint endeavor. So, sorry, that's my, could that be other interpretations? Could be. What I mentioned were facts. You make the wrong connections. Okay, but I still stand by this. Japan is, and is getting even more under the, how should I put it, occupation of the United States of America. I live in America, so yeah, man. The Japanese authorities plan to form a united command, united only about my territory, not your territory. So that again tells you, but I need your help. Why? Because I have enemies around. Why? A plan to form a unified command of the country's self-defense forces in 2024 for better coordination between the Army, Navy and Air Force, as well as for faster emergency interactions with the US military. Japanese press reported on Saturday, citing sources. The government will also approve the position of the head of the Joint Command, which will be lower in rank than the head of the Joint Chief of Staff. The head of the United Command will report directly to the Defense Minister. Okay, that's subordinate, if you believe that. According to the press, to establish the command, the Japanese authorities will first need to amend the Self-Defense Forces Act, which will be considered later this year. Following the amendments, Japan intends to establish a rapid response systems by 2027 amid fears by some experts of a possible attack on Taiwan. Well, Taiwan is Taiwan. Is Taiwan part of Japan? No. So, okay. Well, anyway. One of the main goals of the command's creation is the ability to respond in the event of a hybrid war. Between what? Between China possibly, Taiwan, which is their problem, and then United States are going to involve you in the hybrid war. And they're getting ready for that. So you can react and you're going to be like Ukrainians. You're going to fight for the master across Pacific. Oh yeah? That's just a scenario. All right, the newspaper said, adding that in particular, the head of the command will be able to quickly analyze and respond to the current situation and apply to the Prime Minister and Defense Minister of Japan for their decisions, which should greatly reduce the time for taking final response measures. All right. In addition, the Unified Command will be responsible for information, communication and strategic interaction with the Zimbabwean military / United States military in order to strengthen joint operations. Yeah, so it's going to be United States of Japan versus the rest, but it's not going to be United States of America versus rest, or that's only applied in Japan, because that's a problem over there. It's going to be Taiwan. It's going to be another proxy war because they're just Chinese, right? Oh, Taiwanese. How what's the correct terminology? I'm not sure. Let's say the citizens of Taiwan. Good? Approved? Thank you. So those guys will be flattened like the Ukrainian nation that is doing other people's bidding without even knowing it. And if they do it, they were fooled in a way that they think that their interest coincides with those guys' interest, which is not. The Ukrainians think that we are defending our country from the invading Russians. That's a fact, right? Therefore, our friends will help us defend our country. My question is simple and clear. Why did you get to this point? Is it because you wanted it or because they wanted it? And that will immediately make you separate or part ways with their interest. Because it was not you who wanted to have this problem here. It was them who wanted to have this problem here. And you take the hot potato out of the fire with your little pawns. And they stay over there and they just push you. Go get it. Go get it. Nothing will happen. You have to do it because those potatoes are bad, really bad for you. And you got to destroy them. That's Ukraine. And then you get burned. And then when you can't use your palms for anything, if you know what I mean, those guys going to push you to the side and you're going to get someone else in your stead and get you more potatoes out. And that person gets... Move the other one. It's going to be enough. How is that called? Useful idiots. Yeah. Do I call Ukrainian idiots? No, just used and useful. Not idiots, but they're still under the command of those guys and the weasels that are on top of them, telling them go and fight because the Russians want to kill you and take your lands and rape your women and all that. Yeah, and you do that because that's the reality, you are told. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.